Hi.
That's my dad, and this is my dog, and then my brother just left. So this video is just kind of a...
I'm not sure. An introduction of family. This the little boy.
He's 6'3". Not a little boy.
I'm the short dad.
Yeah, I'm the even shorter sister. I'm not short. I'm 5'5". Okay, but no, this is not just an introduction to family. It was kind of more like going into detail because I can't remember it all. Like, it was a bit traumatizing.
Yeah.
So
You could say that.
I guess, like, first of all, do you remember when I started getting sick?
Really, when you started really just being sick all the time was, let's see, you were diagnosed in December of, what was it? I don't even remember anymore.
I don't know either.
2020. Yeah.
It's been a while.
You've been really sick for about 10 months or so. You started not eating as much and throwing up, and would take you to the doctor, and they sent you one time to a specialist, and we never went back to it and followed up. And
well, yeah, because they wanted a stool sample, and I could not give that to him.
Yeah, and that might have clued them in, and we let them know. Then we went to the ER several times. And that last time at the ER, the lady at the front was telling me, the same things and checking you in. And I told her that you had that bottle of magnesium citrate the day before and had not passed anything. And she was like, oh. They put you into the triage room, and we told that lady that. And next thing you know, there were like 4 or 5 people in there poking and prodding you. And then they said, yeah, I think there's some type of blockage. You need to be decompressed. We're just going to send you to Children's.
That guy was bragging. He was like, everyone I do this for thanks me.
Yeah, you didn't think the guy that gave you your exam.
I wasn't.
You may have shocked them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was not appropriate. My bad. Because I was like, I think I was 13, yeah. I was like 13 or 14, and this little 13 or 14-year-old girl, what the fuck? There was a sweet old lady there, and she just looked so shocked.
To be fair, this was a big fella that had fingers like thick sausages. So, she was not a fan.
No, don't.
So then we went to Children's and didn't leave there for a couple weeks.
Nope. Yeah, they couldn't get like past a foot in my colon.
Yeah, they did their initial scope and said that it was complete blockage, and they were afraid they would rupture something if they were to try to push past it.
Yep. Which is reasonable. Sure felt like my intestines were gonna just...
And then the surgery was supposed to... Oh, that was bad. They'd scheduled a 4-hour block in the OR, which that's just their normal scheduling for it. Her doctor had told us probably 2.5 hours, something like that. And she was scheduled in the afternoon. So we went to the surgery waiting area. There are 2 of them at Children's. This is the one that's not manned 24 hours a day. So the person that was there was leaving not long after the surgery started. And we saw it up on the screen telling us what they were doing. They had our phone number, and they're supposed to, check in and everything. That lady left, and it was just her mom and I sitting in that waiting room. And we waited, and it was 3 hours, 4 hours, 4.5, and 5, and nothing's changing on the board. We still haven't heard from anyone. There's no, they just told us 2.5 hours. So we went looking. I finally went across the hospital to that other waiting area where there was a person at. By the time, this time it'd been like 6 hours. We still hadn't heard anything. We were freaking out. And I went to the other one, and she looked and she said, "Yeah, she's in there. It says they've given you updates a couple of times." I'm like, "We haven't got it." So she tried to message my phone and message Cammie's or her mom's phone, and said, "Yeah, it says I sent you messages." And I was sitting there. We never got anything. Something was wrong with their messaging system, but they didn't know it until we had went like 6 hours without an update. Or no, but I think by this time it'd been over 7 hours. Then finally, she walked me back to that thing so I could tell Elizabeth that everything was fine, and they had updates saying that she was doing fine, but it was taking longer because it was took longer to get her emptied out. And
I probably traumatized my surgeons.
Finally, the thing had changed up there where they had told the person had told us when that changes, they'll within about 10 or 15 minutes, the doctor will come out and let you know how what's going on. Well, it changed whatever it was they had said. And like 45 minutes later, it still said that nobody had come out, still nobody around, still no phone calls or anything. I ended up calling the hospital and getting transferred to that person in the other room. They checked on it and said, "I don't know. They've been sending you updates." So they went and told the doctors in the OR that the parents still had no updates and didn't know what was going on. And so one of them, they were finally wrapping up, came out. And they said, "Okay, someone will be out there in like 10 minutes. Came out like 10 or 15 minutes later. And then they finished up. It ended up being over like a 9-hour surgery. Most terrifying night of my life.
I'm sure I would say the same if I remembered.
Yeah, she was pretty doped up. But,
was I in ICU?
No. You went from recovery up to a room.
Okay.
You're in recovery room overnight.
Well, ICU and recovery are quite different, but it sure felt like it was ICU.
Maybe you were in ICU.
I think I was for one night.
I think you recovered in ICU overnight. That's right, you were.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, I was very confused.
It was still all a big blur by then. So it was, not knowing what was going on, not being checked in with. That was rough. My
mom actually experienced it. He's gonna tell us.
Her mom has had it work. Every time something bad happens, her mom has been there for it. So I was there for that 9 hours. Was very traumatizing for both her mom and I. It was not good for my mental health. It was a bad thing that their communication system was broke down. Then a few days later, we were in her room, and Elizabeth finally went to the family lounge just down the hall on the same floor as them to eat something. And I was in the room, and I was, I'm oblivious to most things anyway. Cameron, Omega noticed it, but this this nurse came in, and all I know is I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, there are like 15 people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what? Well, that nurse had come in the one and only time we saw this lady. She never came back to her room. So I see all these people in here, and I see Liz like sliding down the hall crying. That lady had hit the code blue button. And so on the speakers over the hospital, that announced code blue and gave Omega's room number.
I was oblivious. I didn't even know my room number.
All her mom knew was she was sitting down to eat, and she hears code blue with the room number. So I didn't have to really experience any of that trauma.
Oh, she was also there when I
Liz couldn't eat for
had-
2 days.
yeah, when I was went into anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, she saves all their dramatic stuff for when her mom's around.
Yeah, no, I was allergic to my chemo. How lucky is that? Not.
And the wild thing about being such a special case with Lynch syndrome and her age is
They said it probably started growing when I was 12.
yeah, it's probably at least then. But the wild thing is, it's such a unique thing that everyone's interested in. It was like watching a TV show or something. During that 2 weeks in the hospital, I can't even tell you how many doctors and nurses and specialists she saw. When they would do rounds, there'd be 15 people in the rounds. They would have to like filter in and out of the room for them all to come in, and different people stopping by that had nothing to do with the case, just wanted to check on her and see what was going on. And her doctors telling us about the different experts and specialists all over the country that they would get on the phone with, have conference calls with.
I'm special.
Yeah, oh yeah. She was well known for a big section of the hospital.
Like even
and of the
now,
adult hospital. The cancer specialists at the adult hospital would conference with them every time they were trying to talk about what to do.
Like even now, sometimes someone will mention they heard my case or something.
Yeah.
Or be like, oh, I think I saw you one time. Probably.
But you could write all kinds of case book stuff with our family. We could do a whole medical series with just our family.
Yeah, I mean, he had colon cancer when I was born. Which is so funny.
She spent when she was 6 months old, she spent a week in the hospital with me.
I was fine. I was an angel, except for when I ripped his port out.
She got over that stuff, though.
I
mean, she was an
de-accessed
angel when
him.
she was a kid. She did de-access me one time. I had chemo that I took. I would have my infusion, then I had a bag. I came home and had another infusion through the port. It lasted for a day or two. And I don't know, she's like 9 months old at this time. She just whacked that knee, pulled it out of my port. So that was not fun.
I think I would have said
I kept threatening to get her back since she had a port. No, not allowed to do that.
That's frowned upon.
Very frowned upon.
I have, well, there's my tattoo. My port's right here, but I had another one. Yeah, he has a matching one, so it's my brother. But I'm the only one who got it here. Yeah, so there's a good look at that. I got that 5 days after my first chemo.
Yeah, not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Supposed to should have done it before chemo. But what happened is it was already scheduled, and then they had to. The artist couldn't make it, so they had to change the schedule and moved it out, and it ended up being right after her first treatment, which it was borderline. But yeah, we did
Very
it anyway.
unsafe. But like my doctor's reaction was so funny.
That's a new tattoo.
Yeah, she's like, that's new. I love her. She's
had very good
me
doctors,
grow up.
very good people that she's dealt with.
Oh yeah, I love my team, which we have a lot of people on. Even sorry, you know, Nightbird. She's from like my old town that I lived in. Which, if you guys don't know who that is, you should definitely look her up. She has, I think, cancer, and she sings, and she's good. She has a lot of really inspirational quotes. Do you have anything to say?
Nope, I'm done.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
I can make guest appearances regularly. I mean, obviously people would be tuning in to hear me talk.
and
And
or
to
maybe
look at my spectacular beard.
yeah, he's really proud of that.
One day they're gonna see my colored hair.
Yes, we were supposed to do that yesterday. So
And last week, the week before that, you know, pick my nose. I almost did. I'll be around for a lot of them. I can give speeches. I can read. You guys want to hear story times?
you guys should definitely give me some Make-A-Wish
She
ideas.
is, well, you'd already given them a few choices, and they kind of narrowed it down.
I know. I think I'm gonna get a room makeover,
I think
which
it's-
will definitely include my YouTube setup, which will be better. So you guys just gotta wait for that. I'm gonna give you a room tour. Not until then, though.
Omega is getting better at lying, but she used to not be good at it at all. She's still not good at it. She mainly telling herself. So, I always, for those of you who haven't heard it, when she was 2 or 3, she had this long hair, and
Down to my butt, man.
I came home from work one night, and it was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Her mom had already fallen asleep, and she had woken up and gotten up and was walking around. So I look back, and in the bathroom back there, I see her standing there, and I see hair all over the floor. You know, it doesn't take much hair; it just spreads and looks like a mess. And there's just hair everywhere. And I went in there. I said, "Did you cut your hair?" And she looked up at me, and she wrapped both arms around my legs, and she looked at me with these big tears in her pretty eyes and said, "I don't even know where the red scissors are." And she still has those as a reminder that she is a horrible liar.
Yeah, even
Not so
now.
great at. Actually, I have to say, we didn't even really have to trim it up. She did a very good job. She didn't make big gaps or cut a big chunk off. She just took stuff off the edges, so it was not bad.
Yeah, my hair was not that long, but it was long enough to make a difference.
It's just an important story. Everyone should
Yeah,
know.
I guess so.
It is. It's one of my favorites.
Hmm. What about Pretty?
Oh well, I mean there is that. We had a dog that her name was Pretty, and technically when we first got her, we named her Pretty Fugly, but we didn't want the kids going to school saying Fugly, so we changed it to Snuggly, and she was a Fugly Snuggly dog. I may not be the best at like nicknames and things, and we always taught our kids that there are no bad words or adult words, but not any word that's bad. So like my current dog right here, come here, Carmen. All right, she answers to fat bitch and dumb bitch. She knows. I can be in regular conversation without raising my voice and say fat bitch, and she will start wagging her tail and come over. Well, Pretty, a lot of times I just called her Pretty Bitch. So one time Cameron was, I don't know, 3 or 4, something like that. And she was looking for Pretty, and we're like, I don't know where she is, go call her. So she went to the door, opened the door, and she goes, Petty, bitch. She said the bitch a lot more clear than Pretty, though.
Yeah, I couldn't say Pretty. Alright. I think this is about over, but anything else, like,
No, I'm way done.
we have plenty of other stories, which I'll probably be making story times a lot because I like stories.
Yeah.
And I'll also probably be posting some songs because I write songs. But
Ooh, and I love to sing.
I like to listen to his singing, but
She's
no one
the
else
only
does.
one.
Yeah. All right. Bye.